get comfortable with
being uncomfortable.
Yes, and just like kind of like it's honestly kind of painful. But I think if you can just reframe like what stress is or like what discomfort is, and like almost treat it like it's the bridge to getting to whatever you want, or it's just like life is hard. Like even if you aren't running a business, like every part of it, like even if you don't have kids, like there's just hard parts to life.
Absolutely.
And I think no
if
matter
you're married,
what,
God knows that's hard.
Relationships, you know,
right.
You can avoid discomfort anywhere, just like you can avoid discomfort in business. So I would say for business, like it's a different kind of discomfort. You know, people are kind of used to like, oh, this person doesn't like me, or you know, I didn't get this job, or like, you know, there's like more common discomforts that are like status quo. And I think with business, the things that are stressful and hard, like managing money, having enough cash flow, taking risks when you have a family or when you don't have the money, like those things are just a different type of uncomfortable that you kind of need to run a company.
To be able to navigate,
Spotlights on, the moment's here. Voices of change, rising clear, leading with heart, fearless and bright, purpose and passion, light in the night. From the boardroom to the block, moving mountains, breaking locks with Taji, Sherry, we rise. Real talk, real life, real highs. So step in the light while leaders grow. This is Leaders in the Spotlight. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to another episode of Leaders in the Spotlight, where we share the highs, lows, and plot twists in leadership. I am Taiji Charity, your host. I am so excited about today's guest, who I had the honor of being a panelist alongside her for the Beyond the Spotlight Women Uplifting and Transforming the Industry. It was a networking event presented by Cast and Crew and First Entertainment Credit Union during, I think it was Women's History Month. Her name is Marsha Smith. Marsha is the founder and CEO of Minibop, transforming early childhood education through music. With a background in music management from, guess where, y'all? You know, Berklee College of Music. She built Minibop to bridge the gap in creative arts, providing young children with high quality music, and God knows they need it. It's not only high quality music, but also experiences, and equipping them with early childhood educators with the tools to integrate music into learning. Y'all know that's very important. As the entrepreneur and the mother she is, Marsha has navigated the challenges of building a business while advocating for music as an essential part of early education. Through Minibop, she is reshaping the industry and empowering the next generation. So Marsha, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Girl, I'm so happy.
What an intro. I am like, is she talking about me?
Talking about you. It's all about you.
Yes.
I'm so excited to have you. It was such a pleasure being next to you and a panelist we did doing Women's History Month and learning about Minibop. So just can you share with us the mission of Minibop, and how long has it been since you launched this organization?
Yeah. I mean, I think you summarized it so well. I mean, the mission is to bring quality musical learning to all young children everywhere. It's really unfortunate that, one, music gets cut at all, but two, that it kind of, there's this like layer of children who might not have the means, or their schools don't have the means, so they don't get music, and then it becomes that issue of, you know, just your economic status dictating how much quality learning you get.
And exposure you get, and experiences you get. What was the inspiration behind it?
I mean, music, I guess when I was younger, music just changed my life, and I felt like, you know, you're young and everyone kind of feels like, oh, no one gets me, or, you know, understands me. And I definitely had that time in my life, and just always being able to find a song or a feeling or, you know, it's just something that connects with like what my emotions were in that time. just felt like so special. And I've always been a curious person. So just learning like how music worked, I felt like I was able to get into something that I enjoyed doing, but it also at the same time made me smarter, I guess.
Yeah.
There's so much to music that goes unseen, and you get this really beautiful package, I guess, at the end of songs and instrumentalists and all these different types of things. But just being able to get all these different pieces and put them together and make something like magical harmony, it just always inspired me. And I love being around musicians. And
are you a musician?
I am a musician. I feel I'm always hesitant to say it because I'm like, I'm over here telling every preschool teacher, like, you are musical, and I'm me myself. But yeah, I am a musician.
Really? Do you play an instrument or do you sing? In what capacity?
Sing. I was in an a cappella group for like 5 years. I grew up in musical theater, choir, and play the piano. I could, I used to like arrange our songs for our a cappella group, and
I love it.
It's a lot of fun.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. First of all, do you come from a family of musicians?
I actually don't. Like
really?
My mom loves to sing, and my dad, had his taste in music, but I remember like my mom specifically, we grew up in church, and I would lead the youth choir, and and my mom, she was like that person in the audience, in the what would you call it? Not the audience, or I guess it's the audience, but in the audience.
Congregation,
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. She was the one in the congregation that was just like singing at the top of her lungs. And I would know, she was like, oh,
I like your mama. That's my kind of girl there.
You're a little behind the beat, but like,
that's all right.
doesn't,
She said make a joyful noise.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
You already know. So I think I come from a family of like risk takers.
Yeah.
Both of my parents, my mom came from Haiti, my dad came from Ethiopia. He went to school in Chicago. My mom came from Haiti, moved from New York to Boston, bought a house, like just literally changed the course of her life, from like growing up in the actual like jungle.
Yeah.
And stories that she says, she would like have to go and get her own water, and like, all of these ways that I hear, but I can't actually like fully like empathize with, because I have, she just created a whole new life for us to be able to be here. Yeah.
I love that. And you said the magic word, risk takers.
Yeah.
Like it does take an enormous amount of risk as well as faith to be able to launch a nonprofit organization. So I want to talk to you just about, how long has the organization been around?
It has been, we're going into year 5/6.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not a nonprofit technically, but, but I mean, same. I mean, there's just so much that goes behind
starting a business, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is putting yourself out there to be able to learn, to be able to make mistakes, to be able to get back up, try again, to learn how to make connections. Like there's so many pieces into being an entrepreneur and creating a business. In terms of that, when did you know you wanted to create your own business? Like what sort of piqued that curiosity?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think being in music, you always kind of have, because I came to LA wanting to like be an artist, or just like figuring out like being entertainment, like what does that look like? And so that in itself is just kind of a spark of entrepreneurialism, I feel like, having to like believe in yourself and create create in your artistry and to do all of that. So I think I've always had this thing in me of wanting to bring something to life that like comes from me, just being in music. But where it really turned was I was working in corporate banking. and I was on their business development team. So I would go to different branches and basically offer like financial literacy programming to their employees. So it was very much sales, marketing type of role, and that was for me to have a job and to make income while I try to do this music thing. Yeah, exactly. I was like managing artists and just trying to figure out what I was going to do in music, and had this job. And so I think doing that at the same time, I learned like how a corporate company actually operates. Like I had never really worked in corporate. I worked in like retail and then obviously just doing like more like gig type of work. So I learned kind of like how a company really operates. And then being in music and managing artists, you learn kind of another side of what running your own kind of business would be like it's kind of like a more creative version of it. And so I got let go from my corporate job, and that just kind of put me on this journey of like, well, what am I actually going to do? Like because I was definitely starting to get like, okay, so I got a work phone. I get, I travel to different locations, so I get time in my car. I listen to music. So it was remote. So it was hard to. It definitely would have been hard for me to just be like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore.
To walk away from it.
So being forced to figure out like what's the new job, or like how am I going to make income? Like what is this going to, you don't think you're going to be let go, but
God helps us. He closed the door for us sometimes when we're not able to walk out the door.
Absolutely.
That
door is shut.
Bam. Yes, he does. He slams it. He don't close it. You slam that door. And it's okay. Thank you. Thank you. So who are some of the artists that you manage? And do you still have those relationships? Do you still manage artists?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I managed an artist named Latasha for like 3 years, 2.5 years. I just saw her last week. Like,
really?
So yeah, And VCR I managed for a little bit, and she's like doing amazing, like this beautiful violinist, like beautiful person. Wow. And so yeah, I definitely feel proud that I managed artists, and it might not have been like my thing to keep doing, but I was able to still keep really solid relationships.
Yeah, and that's important, especially when you're managing a business. I mean, leadership requires you to have, I would think, some level of relationship building abilities, to be able to connect with people, maintain relationships and things like that. So it's great that you have been maintaining or still have those relationships.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like that's probably I have to force myself to really think about like, well, what am I good at? Like, what are my skills? Because you can get trapped in this entrepreneur world where you're like, you're a little good at everything, but you're like, wait, what do I, like, what's my superpower? Like, what actually makes me me. And
or if you're like me, you can't think of anything. I'm like, what am I good at? But yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. But I feel like over time I've learned that, I think I am, one of my superpowers is being empathetic and being able to like see people for who they are and like where they are in their lives and like build relationships. And I feel like I'm trying to really curate that at Minibop too. So like everyone feels like they're working towards something meaningful, and like I always expect for them to put their best foot forward, and because we're literally changing children's lives. Like they're that age range 0 to 5. It can be taken for granted. If you're like, oh, I'm just singing Wheels on the Bus, or I'm just singing the ABC song, or I'm just like practicing a beat. Like all those things can kind of be taken for granted, I feel like, but they're literally the foundation of learning. And so I just try to empower my team to know that the work that they're doing is really meaningful, but also that at the end of the day, like this is a part of their life, and like they're a full person. They should enjoy all the other parts of their life. And I think that has really meant a lot. And like we've really built this kind of like core foundational team that like enjoys being there. And
so tell me, how does the program work?
So
how do you connect with kids at what age, and what exactly do you offer the kids?
So we started off as a brick and mortar space, and that we still have in Glassell Park. It's like right next to Highland Park in LA. And so We were doing classes with parents and toddlers and like that 0 to 4 range. And, after like the first few sets of families had gone through classes, they were kind of like, oh, well, can we do kind of the next stage? Like now they're 3 or now they're 4. So like, what else can we do next for them in music? And so, or they'd go to preschool. So we started getting introduced to preschools, and quickly realized that being able to go in and do preschool programs was not just a need, but a possibility.
Yeah.
And then we started doing preschool programs, and like we've been with some of our preschools now for like over 3 years.
Oh, that's
weekly
amazing.
programs. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so our sweet spot has been that 0 to 6 range, baby through like TK, and bringing music programs into their schools.
Okay.
And so, and most recently we just got approved to be on the arts bench for LAUSD.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So we're just starting to connect with schools and to do their programming. So right now we're primarily preschool, but we are moving into K through 5, and our program's accredited by WASC, and we're approved for
wonderful.
Through 5th grade, through 6th grade.
That is amazing.
That's it. It's basically full music programs for schools.
So they're learning instruments, they're learning songs, they're learning all of sort of the basic.
It's very foundational. So they're in preschool they're learning like core music concepts like beat, tempo, rhythm. As they get a little bit older, they learn about different instruments, how they work. But what's special about our program is that we incorporate core learning skills too. So
that's great.
Even if we're teaching them about a guitar, we might be showing them how the strings vibrate to make the sound, and how, or when you have a smaller key on a xylophone, it's a higher note. We're trying to teach like the science behind it. Music is literally math, so they're learning early math skills with patterns and sequencing. And then what really special is for our slightly older kids, so like 5, 6 and up. We do some early songwriting with them, so they're learning how to connect their emotions to words and to rhyme those words, and how do you compose that into a song and connect it to a melody.
Okay.
So those are the kind of musical concepts we're doing, and then it all wraps up in some type of performance or showcase to like highlight the skills that they've been learning.
Look, girl, I'm a 50+ grown woman wanting to sign up for your program, okay?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It sounds like it. And I don't know if you were one of those mothers, but I was that mom who had the earplugs on my stomach when I was pregnant. So it's introducing my child to music while she was still being formed.
Totally.
In my, that's just how powerful and impactful music is.
You want to know a fun fact that because I've been doing a lot of research, because we've been doing these trainings to teach preschool teachers how they can teach music. We're teaching 3-year-olds about a beat or the difference between beat and rhythm, but their teachers don't necessarily know that. And so we're teaching preschool teachers, like even if you might not necessarily be able to have a full service program where a teacher comes every week, you can still teach music throughout the week with these like core concepts. So you're
training the teachers to teach.
Exactly, yeah. But a fun fact is, before any child can even talk, they understand music. Like music actually is like their first language, like across the board. The brain can understand music before it can understand words.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe it. Because you hear a beat, your body just responds to it, right?
Yeah.
It just responds.
Yeah.
Look, what advice would you give any young person who's considering starting a business? Like just talk to me a little bit about your leadership style, some of the highs and lows in leadership and starting your own business.
How real are we trying to get?
Girl, let's get all the way real.
Okay.
That's all I know. Look, transparent. Hold on, let me get some water right now. We ready.
Okay, so highs, I would say, so having like these past like 4 or 5 years, I was pregnant, I had 2 kids, like there was a lot happening, but one thing that was great was that I was able to like curate my life, like create, like, okay, even if I had to work late nights, like I could spend a few hours in the morning like with my child, or especially working owning our own space, like I could bring my kids to work with me, and like I had that flexibility, and like that I feel like is going to be priceless. Like I can already see the difference in my kids, that they got to spend time with their parents. And then I think just advice for anyone starting is just get comfortable with
being uncomfortable.
Yes, and just like kind of like it's honestly kind of painful. But I think if you can just reframe like what stress is or like what discomfort is, and like almost treat it like it's the bridge to getting to whatever you want, or it's just like life is hard. Like even if you aren't running a business, like every part of it, like even if you don't have kids, like there's just hard parts to life.
Absolutely.
And I think no
if
matter
you're married,
what,
God knows that's hard.
Relationships,
Right.
you can avoid discomfort anywhere. Just like you can avoid discomfort in business. So I would say for business, like it's a different kind of discomfort. People are kind of used to like, oh, this person doesn't like me, or I didn't get this job, or like, there's like more common discomforts that are like status quo. And I think with business, the things that are stressful and hard, like managing money, having enough cash flow, taking risks when you have a family or when you don't have the money, like those things are just a different type of uncomfortable that you kind of need to run a company.
To be able to navigate. That's good, because you are required to, in running a business, you are required to have a basic understanding of all of the areas in which your business is doing business.
Totally.
And so you really do have to get uncomfortable and learn the things that you don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Something in business that I've learned too is, every business is different, kind of like every child is different.
Yeah.
But like there's frameworks around it, and then you have to make every framework your own. And I think if I had learned earlier, like even what a frame, like you have to learn what is a framework, how does how do you apply them, like why do you need them, what is what is there's all these terms that are thrown out, like operations, marketing, like like they're just kind of thrown out, and like people are teaching you random parts of it, but no one really connects them, like what does operations really do, and how does that connect to like marketing, or is it like those things? I feel
all
like
the components work together for the advancement and the growth and the stability of the business itself.
And the more I've thought about it, like creating a song, like the more it's clicked in my brain. Like there's just different parts of like creating a song that a producer does, the artist does, that like all the admin behind it, like that helped me kind of process, like, okay, this is what running a company is. It's not, there's just so many layers to it. So the more you can kind of compare it to, like a lot of people like to compare it to like a game or
So what advice would you give someone that feels like, well, we don't have all of those pieces, like we don't have a team, like I'm just starting out? Because I know for me, I was always I can show you better than I can tell you. Like in terms of trying to communicate the strategy, trying to like, let me just do it and show you what it looks like. That's the way I've been able to operate. But what advice would you give someone that says, look, I don't even know how to get started. I have an idea, but I don't have a team. I don't have all the pieces to put in place to launch a business. What advice would you give?
I think the best skill that you can learn, I probably should have said this with the last question, but I think the best skill that you can learn is being resourceful.
That's
because it's way harder for sure, but like especially, everyone always says, okay, being a female business, like to get to $1 million a year is like whatever small percentage, and then layer on like being a Black female, like it's going to be this much percentage, or like or having a business, regardless of how much you make, that stays open past 5 years is like going to be this hard to do or that hard to do. So like you hear all these stats of how hard it is and how but there are people and organizations out there, you know, that give you, like, that teach you, that give you the resources. And like, if you're willing to be resourceful, put in like the homework, put in the time to learn and try, it's there.
That's
like,
great advice.
Yeah.
Because YouTube University have a class on any and everything you can think about
for sure
wanting to do.
The only reason why I know how to do anything is because of that. And then even more so, like, there's like the SBDC.
Yeah.
I went through a program called LEAF, and if I didn't like go through that, I wouldn't have met the person now that is like basically like our fractional CFO, who's like helps me put together P&Ls and all these things, like, and it's literally free.
That's good. I think the Small Business Administration also have
the SBA is the one that funds like SBDC and like
yeah, that's good. Being resourceful. I love that.
Yeah.
So how big is your team?
We have it's like about 20 right now, but like the majority of our team are like our part-time teachers that go out and do our classes and programming. So yeah, I mean, we have marketing right now, operations.
Oh, that's great. So how challenging or how easy has it been to build a team, getting the right people on the bus that aligns with your mission and your heart for the work that you do?
I've had some hard lessons for sure. Yeah.
Lessons. Tell us about some of those hard lessons.
You know, I think you kind of take, when people talk about like building a culture or, you know, making sure everyone's aligned with like the vision, like it sounds kind of like fluffy when you hear it. You don't really know what that means, like how granular you need to get. And then there also is like a bit of an insecurity because you know, you're kind of thinking, oh, well, am I just trying to make a team of people that like I like? You know, like what does this actually mean to? So I think for me, a couple of hard lessons I've learned to, like, you know, you do outgrow people, or people, and it's not to say that you don't want to grow with people, but like some people just don't grow at the same speed as you, and like you have to be okay with that and honest and transparent. And I think I've had a lot of lessons where if I was more transparent sooner about like where we are, where they are, you know, I could have avoided some heartache. So now I'm just like very clear, like, well, this is what we're doing. This is what we care about. You know, we care about being able to be honest with each other, but not doing it in a way doing it with love. Like you can say the truth.
Lead with love. Absolutely. And kindness.
Yes, for sure. And you can still say the truth, like with what you need. We don't really deal with like being passive aggressive or, you know, it's just why? Like if we all have to be here to work and get like, let's make it as joyful and as impactful and meaningful as we can. And I think part of that is feeling good around the people that you're with.
That's excellent. I mean, that's really excellent advice, because I know for a long time it was really hard. I was always tiptoeing around because I'm very sensitive to other people's feelings. Like I've never wanted to hurt people's feelings. I never wanted. And I was like, well, how do I address it without hurting their feelings? And I really had to reframe how I process and even how I present, because I have a very strong voice, period. I can be whispering and I may sound aggressive. And I'm really not. Like I'm just mushy on the inside. I want to hug you as I'm telling you I'm upset about whatever you're doing, but I want to hug you at the same time. So, you know, I had to process that. So that's excellent advice. And I hate this because they told me my warning is up, my 5-minute little tagline is up. So I'm like, no. But I want to know real quickly, who are some of the leaders you admire?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. I would say, I'm trying to think of a good one. Emma Grande, I don't know if I'm saying her last name right, Grande. She's the one that she started Good American, Skims. Like I really admire her story because she doesn't play like victim at all. She's just kind of like, I'm a Black female, I'm going to learn what I got to learn. I'm going to be in there with the big guys, and I'm going to also make a difference and make people feel good. And I feel like that's what I want to do too. Like I want to show that you can do really whatever you want.
Yeah.
Not that it's going to be easy,
Right.
but you can also do it in a way that is helping. Like, what is the point of doing anything if it's not to help
Uplifting someone else.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, and like
That's
leaving
good.
some type of good and some type of imprint.
So is she a public speaker?
She's currently the CEO of Good American. I think she's president at Skims.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She just, to me, is like keeps it real.
Yeah.
Has big dreams, has big goals, doesn't let anything stop her, but also is like a mom and a friend, and like she just seems like a full person that is confident and
Good.
wants to make a difference.
Thank you. We're gonna have to look her up. I love
Yeah.
learning about other leaders that are out really making a difference in the community. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
How can we find information on Minibop? Like, where do we go? Where do our listeners and viewers go to find out information about your organization or your company?
Thank you.
Yes.
I would say minibopmusic.com, and then follow us. Like we're kind of fun on TikTok and Instagram. You know, we
Okay.
show some personality, and everything is just Minibop music.
Good. I love that. And look, in this digital social media world, you have to have fun content. Our young people are pushing us to do more fun content. They have me doing all sorts of stuff on these media platforms now. I'm like, y'all know I'm shy.
Oh my
They're like,
gosh.
stop it, Ms.
Yeah.
Taiji. But
I'm learning that lesson too, especially with like this AI world we're in. You know,
my
it's like
gosh.
arts now is hopefully everyone's going to realize is like that much more. It's always been important, but you can't like just press a button and like fabricate real art. You know,
Right.
like that actually touches not just the person doing the
that
art, but
human
like someone.
connection
Yeah,
to
you
it.
can't.
You can't replace that.
You can't.
No, absolutely.
So yeah.
Marsha, this has been great. It has been a pleasure
Thank
having
you so
I'm so
much.
excited. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for today. I hope that you've heard something that will help you and inspire you on your leadership journey. And until next time, please stay tuned. Do those 3 magical words: like, share, subscribe. And we're on Got One TV now. So make sure you're subscribing to Got One TV and streaming some of the past episodes as well. Our goal is to really highlight leaders doing amazing things in our community. So again, thank you and have a great day. Bye now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for today. I hope you were inspired and you gained some valuable nuggets that will help you to become a better leader and to walk in your God-given authority. Bye until next time.